Oh man! By the way, again, we're gonna book talk for about 2 seconds. How is
Uh-huh.
how is Dungeon Crawler Carl?
So, as soon as you said the name of the monster, I went back to the audiobook and hit play on the next chapter, and they called out the name right away, so I'm like, okay, cool. Not a big spoiler. But, spoiler for anyone who's reading the book right now, it's not the Crack Heron, it's the Crack Heron clone. And then, like, the voiceover was given the description of it. I'm like, how the hell are they going to manage this thing? Because it says if you kill one of their things, they make two more. So, so from talking about that last week, I went from literally chapter 4, listened to it all weekend pretty much, and now I'm up to chapter 34.
But
And I'm getting sad because according to the audiobook, I've got 4.5 hours left of it. So I can't wait for the next one.
I'm sorry. You're on book 1.
Yes.
I envy you, friend.
I'm nearing the end of book 1.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
This is going to make me go and find the other ones and buy them. Just so I don't have to, because I don't want to wait, and I let me stop tripping over myself and get to what I'm saying. For Spotify, because I use premium, I get 15 hours of listening time for audiobooks. Some of them I think it's unlimited, but like certain ones, it's you get 15 hours in general. And there's a little thing that you can keep track of it to see how much you use. And then once that 15 hours is up, that's it. You have to wait for 30 days for it to renew the next 15. You can pay a premium to get some more time. But every time I looked into doing that, because I used up all my time listening to the audiobook, I was trying to look into finding out how to get more. And I guess the audiobooks are included, and maybe with premium you get an additional 15 because it says I have no hours, yet I'm still listening to it.
I'm going to
So,
just quickly look at my phone because I have
mm-hmm.
premium Spotify because my wonderful, beautiful, super intelligent significant other is a music
Mm-hmm.
person. And actually, not that she's going to probably listen to the podcast. Fun fact, everyone who's actually listening, she is
Mm-hmm.
also on a podcast called wow, Gig Tales.
Try. Well, how old are you? Let's,
When
Hey
it's
guys,
time to
how you doing?
change. She's on a podcast called Gig Tales, which is about live performance and the funny stories that come out of that. And
Mm-hmm.
One of the running gags on her podcast is that I never listen to her podcast. Not because it's bad. She's phenomenal on it. She's an amazing
Mm-hmm.
host. One of the funniest people
I've listened to it. As soon as I heard she was on it, I went and listened. They're great.
They're extremely good, and she has this uncanny ability of knowing what to say as opposed to me who just kind of fumbles his way through it. But
But you make sense.
she is a music file, and because of that, I have the premium version of Spotify. I'm going to look at that later to see if I can download some audiobooks.
They have their own little section for audiobooks. Like when you go to search, you just pull down and it's like audiobooks is right there, and then you can see all the things that they have. One that I'm interested in starting, and I don't know if I actually want to listen to the audiobook or if I want to go and buy it and read it because I've heard so many good things about it. And the movie's coming out soon. Project Hail Mary.
Oh, no, you want to listen to the audiobook and read, but listen to the audiobook. Listen to the audiobook. It is so good. One of the, and we'll talk at some point about spoilers that for video games. But one of the things that pissed me off more than anything is I read the book a while ago. I listened to the audiobook as well because it was like $3 on Audible or through Amazon. So I was like, all right, let's just do that. Download the audiobook. And the problem is the twist of the story is in full display of the movie. Like, if you've
Oh,
seen the trailer, and if you haven't, I'm not going to ruin it because it's a great twist. The
I've
entire
started watching it, but I've heard I shouldn't because it does spoil it.
Right. The entire crux of the book, and I saw Jason Pargin, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He's the guy who wrote John Dies at the End. He does like these kind of slice of life, like, hey, here's a thing you might not have known, and he goes into the downside of movies that whose trailers ruin the twist, and he describes
Mm-hmm.
Project Hail Mary perfectly. He's like, the whole crux of it is it seems like it's going to be one thing, and then it turns wildly around. Turns very much. But if you've listened to The Martian, or if you've read The Martian or seen the movie, you will like this book. It is actually, I would say, superior to The Martian, which is saying
It's
something.
on my list. I've heard great things about The Martian too. I want to. I know that the movie's great, but that's one of those things where I'd rather listen to the book or read it first and then go check out the movie. Interstellar's the same thing. I haven't watched the movie yet, but I've heard great things. I want to watch it. I need like quiet time to myself in the right mode, in the right moment to watch it and like absorb everything about it.
To be fair, and I'll say this about, so for Interstellar, I've seen Interstellar. I saw them in the theater with Terry, and there are things that I truly like about that movie. It was not my favorite. Definitely not my favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
Hmm.
The the music's phenomenal. The premise seems really cool, and then it also does a thing where it twists at the end, almost like an M Night Shyamalan deal. And
Hmm.
up till the twist, I was like 100% on board, and then when the twist happens, I was like, "Come on, man! Like, no,
It really take you out of it.
yeah, it really did."
Oh,
But
that's
what was
unfortunate.
the other movie that you just mentioned?
The
The
Martian.
Martian. The Martian is really, really good. The book is really, really good. Um, it reminds me. So I really like the movie. Um, it has, and it's funny because it came out. It kind of is a weird little bookend to Interstellar because in both of them
Is it because Matt
is
Damon?
in both of them, and you will, if you watch, I would recommend watching both. If you don't know anything about Interstellar, don't look it up. It's a million years old now, and everyone ruins it. But watch.
I already know it's all
Right.
right.
So for those of you who have not seen Interstellar,
Hmm.
there is a twist. There's a couple twists, but I would highly recommend watching The Martian and then watching Interstellar and then gauging your opinion of Matt Damon on both. Not as an actor, he's phenomenal, but in both of them, he plays very
Like the
different people. Yeah,
characters.
the characters are very different.
Hmm.
Anyways,
Since we're talking about Nolan, another book, not allegory, I guess, but parallel to the book. I think it's coming out next year in IMAX, which I have not seen an IMAX movie in free ever. But The Odyssey, that is my absolute all-time favorite book. Meg got me a wallet that is the book of. It says Homer's Odyssey on it. It's like a little book. You open it up, you put your little cards in there, but it looks like the book with the spine and everything.
well,
I've got the Iliad and the Odyssey up there on my bookshelf. It's my favorite thing. I'm excited to see what he does with it because when he makes epics, they are actually pretty epic. But I love the original Odyssey movie. It stuck with me for years.
the movie or the miniseries?
The movie.
Okay. The miniseries is good. I remember dialing it all the way back. Back in like the early 90s, they were doing a lot of like this was before the golden age of television, and they were doing a lot of these like miniseries, and the miniseries that they had, they would like, I don't know, they did one for Merlin, I think, at one point. They did one for the Odyssey, and it was really, really good.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's good. It's probably going to be super dated now, and the special effects are going to be like dumb. But at the time, I was like, "Oh, this is the coolest thing that's ever existed." When I was
Hmm.
in college, again, I went to college for English. My bachelor's was in English, and
You speak well.
I mean, I
Nice reaction. Just eh.
listen. English is basically three different languages all under a trench coat. It is not by any stretch of the imagination logical or makes any sort of sense. The fact
Hmm.
that there is a subject for it and you can get a college degree in it is absolutely insane. But when I went, they were. I remember I went and I was like taking all these courses. I took like, five British authors and then three, fundamental American writers. And you do these deep dives on books. But one of them, and it was the
Hmm.
best course I have ever taken, it was on epic poems. And one of the things we went into was
Oh,
the Odyssey. And I'll
yeah.
look it up. But there was, I think it was called War Music. Let me look this up. Disregard what I'm doing. War music. Um,
And
Odyssey.
since you mentioned Merlin, that reminds me of that. And my second favorite book, literally, is The Once and Future King.
Mm. Oh God, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Arthurian legends and
Oh
stuff.
God, it's so good. Um, yes, it's going to be this one. So it is really interesting. It is basically it's by Christopher Logue, and basically
Hmm.
it is.
I recognize that name.
Yeah, he sounds. I don't know anything actually. Let me see. Has he done anything else that I would know? I don't know that. But so the thing that's interesting about war music is basically it's like a modern poetry retelling of the Odyssey, and like the one scene in
Hmm.
it that because it's basically so there's one the scene where Achilles gets the arrow through his Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
The when that happens in the book, there are two pages, and across both pages in giant letters it just says Apollo with an exclamation point, and it's like it's surreal and strange. If you can get it,
But it would fit.
again, this is like a modern art piece. It's one of those
Hmm.
like avant-garde, off the wall, very interesting takes on this ancient poem. Highly recommend it if you can
Hmm.
find it like at a yard sale for 50 cents. It's not a bad book, but again, it's not one of those ones where you're going to be like, "Hey, I'm going to pick that up and it's going to be a fun time." It's very introspective and weird, and if you have Kindle, download a sample of it and just see where
Hmm.
it goes. It'll surprise you. But that
Okay.
that course was awesome. We did Dante's Inferno, we did the Odyssey, we did Beowulf, and we did Beowulf in I believe it was Middle English, and we you needed
Wow,
to
really?
read it with a translation because it was
Hmm.
just unreadable. It was wild.
Have you heard of? God, we're back on books again, just like last week.
Yeah.
Have you read Faust or know about it?
I mean, I know of it, but I haven't read it.
Okay. It's a tough read. It's an awesome story. It's excellent. A band that I still listen to occasionally actually um, took that story and wrapped it into two discs. They made music based off of it. And what am I trying to think of? It's there's a specific word. Where's Terry when I need her? It's a specific word when it comes to concept
Concept album,
concept
yeah,
album. There we
yeah.
go. Yes. They did two concept albums based on the entire story of Faust, with Mephisto coming down and like trying to turn God's favorite man or whatever it was, and then like him going back on it and seeing what he did wrong and all that fun shit. But the music's great. It's symphonic metal if you like it. The band's called Camelot if you want to look into it. but it's a hard read just because of the translation itself. It's a great story. It's just, it was hard to read.
Oh, I mean, I can imagine. Anything that's written, so I'm going to be full disclosure, I'm the worst English major of all time. Like, I used to work with this guy, and he came in one time and he was reading The Picture of Dorian Gray, and I was like, bullshit. There's no way you're going to be reading anything that's prior to, we'll say, mid to late 20th century and be like, this is a fun ass read. There are important books, totally important, worth reading if you're into the English language and you want to learn about the art that has come through, just standard writing. You can. But I'm not picking one. I'm not picking up, you know what I mean, like Rebecca, and being like, hey, this is going to be fun. Like, like the Brontes, like Shakespeare. I've had to read all of that. And again, very important, and I'm not saying they're bad. Not my, fun pickup book. Dungeon Crawler Carl, on the other hand,
that's a fun read.
That's a very fun read.
All right, last thing about books really quick. Just because you mentioned Shakespeare, I want to know, do you have a favorite work?
I mean, no. I mean, again, I remember we did a whole deep dive on his sonnets. We went through all of them. Oh my god. And thankfully I never kept any of my college books, because we had the aggregated quintessential British writers from Jan to Wen, and it was this thick, and in the middle of it is just all of his sonnets. And it's I mean, again, the books that I think are worth, Hamlet, absolutely,
it's worth reading.
Romeo and Juliet, hey, a lot of our
a lot of stories are based off of the premise of those things.
I mean, he fundamentally changed our language and made idioms and sayings that we use now. But again, I'm not yo, you ever read Macbeth? That shit is fucking awesome.
Do you care to guess? I actually have a favorite Shakespeare work, but I'm going to give you two guesses and see if you can figure it out.
I'm going to assume it's not Much Ado About Nothing.
Nope.
Knowing You. Is it Macbeth?
No. Do you want to try one more?
King Lear?
Othello. See?
There.
I don't know what it is about that book. I'm like, Hamlet's cool, Romeo and Juliet, cool. Othello. That's my shit.
I mean, my diatribe about not reading this stuff is by no stretch of the imagination. Don't read it. Read it. Anything you can read. I'm a huge proponent of reading. I'm just so fucking lazy.
I feel like a lot of those things are good mandatory readings just so you can see how we got to where we are now with stuff.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, in school, would I say you should read Dungeon Crawler Carl as part of a syllabus? No. Would I say you should read it after school? Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, maybe not once you're older, because there's some things that happen in that book.
There is some pretty descriptive stuff. Violence and whatnot. It's cool.
Speaking of violence, let's talk about video games.
Yeah, violence in video games. It's always fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hang on. I got the number right this time, and I'm not going to say it wrong, okay? I changed I updated all the
Hold on. You actually, you edited the podcast last time. Did you say it wrong, or did I just hear it wrong?
I absolutely said it wrong. I said, I've looked at the numbers. I said 68, looking at the number 66. I fucked it up completely. But you know what? It's comedy, baby.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? We do it for the lulz.
Yes. It's funny. We're on 67 this time. And this is Ramblepack Podcast episode 67, and we are Mikeless. So I'm Mikeless Adam.
And I am Mikeless Sean.
It's okay. We'll hold down the fort.
And we miss Mike more than anything because he is an awesome, awesome person, and we cannot wait till he gets back. But he is doing what he needs to do.
He's being a great dad. I actually got to play Gears of War with him on Tuesday.
Oh, how was it?
And we recorded gameplay.
Nice. How did you record it? Did you do screen capture? Did you just record it on Xbox?
I have an Elgato, so I have that connected to my laptop and the PS5, and we played for about an hour and a half.
Fun. Fun.
It's pretty.
That's nice. By the way, El Gato, just so you know, in Spanish means the gato.
Isn't gato cat?
Just kidding.
I speak French. I have no idea.
No, it is cat. It is cat. No, I know it's cat.
You looked at me like, what the fuck?
Listen, man. Look, I know some Spanish. I took it for years, but it does mean the cat. But
I'm trying to pick it up, but I'm more of a French speaker, unfortunately.
Why, unfortunately? French is a beautiful language.
Because I don't know what people are saying around me.
You're like...
Everyone around me speaks Spanish.
Ennui. A certain je ne sais quoi.
I don't know what.
Oh god, that was a great joke that was one of the best jokes on Austin Powers. He has a certain I don't know what. So Gears of War was good.
It's I want to say it's exactly as I remember it, but I feel like that's not doing it fair. Because they've made some updates, some quality of life stuff. It's a lot smoother. It's like I said, it's extremely pretty. I don't know if they swapped from Unreal 4 to 5 while they were redoing this or not. I have not checked into that. But when the game came out, funny enough, there was a lot of reports on PC for crashes and stuttering and issues like that. However, it runs beautifully on the PS5 and Xbox. I mean, consoles are consoles. When you're making games for those, it's generally pretty good. But I have no complaints. If you've played Gears of War before, you know exactly what you're getting into. Things are still in the same spot. Like all the collectibles and things, it still has the additional stuff. Some cool things about it. I linked my Microsoft account to Gears of War on the PS5, and it gave me additional little tidbits and things. I have not gone into the settings to see what it gave you, but you get additional stuff because you linked your account, and I had the game beforehand. So, got all that. A neat feature between the PS5 controller and the game itself. When you are playing the game, obviously your character has an earpiece, you're on the comms with whoever's running the specs for the mission or whatever's going on. The voices come out of the microphone controller. So you hear the comms through the controller like it's actually like the comms communicating with you. I'm like, that's a neat little touch. That's really cool.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I know it's this neat little touch, but as a whole, video controller sounds, because I have opinions.
No thanks.
Thank you. I'm in the same boat. I like it when it happens the first time, and then every time after that, I'm like, please stop. You know, like...
I feel like you're going to do what I do, where you hear it, it's like, that's cool. It happens again. Turn it off.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I get to play, like, normally it's when, significant other and puppies are asleep. So, if I'm playing and all of a sudden it's like, you just got, the super awesome ammo pack. And it's like, dude, shut up. I know. Like, just put it through the headphones, man. That's all I want.
Dom, we gotta get to the Raven.
The one thing I wanted to ask you, in terms of like the accoutrement that comes with PS5 versus your Xbox, do you like one better? And the reason I ask is, I do like so I have the Pulse 3D headset, which is old as shit and it's falling apart, and the dual sense controller, and you can change the ratio of sound of what comes out of your controller and what comes out of your headset.
Yep.
And I never get it right.
So the Xbox has something similar to that, but you don't need a special controller for it. A lot of their controllers, like here, this is my custom one that I got. It's got the little jack on the bottom too, so it doesn't need like a proprietary connection like the PlayStation controllers do, whether it's the Bluetooth or directly wired. Which that's one thing I don't like. Xbox is pretty much plug and play. You're good to go. It doesn't matter what. They have the mixer built in, and it's pretty easy to balance what you want to hear more if you have a headset that pipes the sound from the game through it and audio from people talking and additional things. It's a lot easier to control on the Xbox, I think, than the PS5.
Fair, fair. I do like the DualSense, but I agree with you. Like one of the things, and this drove me bonkers, right? So PS5 again, you have to have any Bluetooth headset you has to have a dongle that plugs directly in because the Bluetooth channel it like overlap the audio channels overlap with the controller channels for some inexplicable reason. Blah 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 blah. Pain in the ass. However, my Switch, I have my Pixel Pro Buds 2. I have it connected to my Switch. I have it connected to the Switch 2. I have it connected to my computer. I have so many different connections where I'm like, my kingdom for just being able to use a wireless headset. That's all I want. This. If you could, if Sony could figure out a way where I could use any Bluetooth audio, and they're like, oh, we don't want to, ruin the experience because it's not going to be high fidelity. It's like, I don't care about that. I just don't want to wake people up, Oh, yeah.
Do you see her back there?
I see something taped
Probably not.
taped to your... Oh, I see a door opening.
Yeah. That's cool. Hopefully it works. Apparently Lauren's putting herself to sleep.
Aww.
Our 3-year-old's growing up.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's another problem I kind of had with Sony, that they like their proprietary stuff, kind of like Apple does.
Oh my god.
And it makes things difficult.
The Vita. So I have the Vita. I've not used it in forever. And it's a beautiful handheld. It actually is physically very lovely. It's very easy to hold. There's a lot of cool stuff on it. And why on God's green earth did you need to buy SD cards that were specifically branded Sony? I don't understand. I mean, it's a cash grab, but I'm like, like my Switch, again, save what you will about Nintendo. They have never, ever discounted a game. They keep rehashing the same stuff over and over and over again. But my Bluetooth headset works, and I can buy any freaking SD card that I want. PlayStation? No.
Oh, you want to know something really cool about Nintendo as well when it comes to the consoles and their hardware? A lot of the AV cables and AC adapters for them will go from the N64 to the GameCube and stuff like that. A lot of them will still work with the same things.
Which is funny now that you have the Switch where you can't use the original... Like, they made it USB-C enabled now, which is fine. It's great, but like, for some reason you have to have the exact correct power cable in order for it to display properly for reasons that I don't understand.
Shit. I was going to say something else about this stuff too, and now I've forgotten. Oh, that's what it was. When it came... when you mentioned storage and having to buy specific Sony branded stuff for the Vita, Xbox has flip-flopped back and forth throughout the years doing something similar. Before, you used to be able to plug in their own proprietary memory cards to like save your game data, and you'd be able to bring it with you or whatever. You could save games from the disc onto it so that it would load faster, like onto the internal, or put it on a memory card to bring wherever with you. Eventually, they opened it up to where you can plug in a flash drive to have additional storage. Had to be Xbox specific, though. Then they opened it up to third-party ones, and that was cool. Moved on to the new Xbox Series and stuff like that. And then they Initially, actually, I believe you were able to plug in any external, and then they closed it down because they were worried that people were using it for nefarious purposes, or they actually were, not sure. So then they closed it down and was like, you have to use our stuff. And now they are similarly doing that for the most part, where if you want, so like for the Series X, I've got the 1 tera, no, do I get, I don't remember what my internal is, I think it's 500 or a terabyte. It fills up quick because games are huge now. I also have 2 external drives that are connected to it. One's 2 terabytes, the other one's 1 terabyte. The problem with that is that they have so many little descriptors for the games where it's like, you've got your game, but it can also be an Xbox Series X or S enhanced version. That means that it has to be on the internal system, or it has to be on their proprietary memory card that you plug into a slot on the back of the console. There's also Game Pass games and whatever other subscriptions you have, and it has to be on those specific things, or it won't run. If the game also has an enhanced version from the original, if you want that enhanced version, it has to be on the internal stuff. It can't be on the external drive. And that screws up storage, because I bought 3 terabytes so that way I had enough room for the games, and the ones that I have to play, they have to be moved back onto the console anyway.
I know. It's very similar with Sony. So I bought a...
I think Sony does it better. They made it so much easier to switch the things out internally.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree. Like, the one thing that I'm not, like, super jazzed about, so I have, like, an not old school, but I have a 2 terabyte standard hard drive that plugs into the back. Fine. Mm-hmm. Again, you can play PlayStation 4 games totally fine. It takes longer to load, but you can play them.
That wouldn't bother me.
I had that for a couple years, and I was like, okay, fine. They initially had a really limited amount of internal SSDs that you could plug in. I eventually bought one. I was like, all right, might as well. It was 2 terabytes. It was like, I don't know, like $70, whatever. It was like on sale. It was like on a Prime Day. Bought it. And
you got it for cheap then.
And it was like revelatory. Like being able to quickly access games. The one downside is there are so many times, like you have the option of downloading to one of your individual drives that you have on the system. Shawnee, because he's not the brightest bulb, was having everything download to the hard drive, and then you have to do this game of like flipping everything back and forth. Basically, it runs in there are like 3 speeds on PlayStation. You have the proprietary built-in SSD that comes with the system, that everything runs the best on. You have internal SSD where it runs okay. It's not as fast, but you can run games from the internal SSD fine. And then hard drive, it's like, playing on a PS4. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Like one of the things, again, I haven't turned on that system in like 9 months, but it's good that they do have that ability, because God forbid, like, imagine back in the 90s, like in the 90s, you saved to the game. You know what I mean? Like you saved on a cartridge, and
yeah, with an internal battery, and if that battery failed, you're screwed.
And I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, was one of the big things was basically everyone was like, hey, if you haven't, the original Legend of Zelda, guess what? That shit ain't gonna work no more. And I was like, oh no, and then realized I haven't had my original Zelda game, which freaking kills me. I had the gold cartridge Ocarina of Time, and I lost it. And I'm like, man,
oh my goodness,
pissing me off.
I have a cute little tangent about the Ocarina of Time. My version is sitting up there on the shelf, mainly because I've thought about putting it in like a green shadow box, just because, it's Ocarina of Time. We've got an N64, I can play it, whatever. Just for fun, I was playing with Meg's N64, got it to work in here because I thought about maybe capturing some old style games and like talking over it or something like that. That was my test game. It was a gift from my sister and her, unfortunately now ex-husband, but it was a gift before I came out here to Massachusetts. I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't have this. I'll have to find a way to play it or something like that. I've had that thing for the last 13 years. Never plugged it in once. Plugged it in the other day. N64 booted up. It was playing just fine. All 3 files were named something specific. It said, good luck, Adam.
Aww.
I was like, oh,
Man.
I wish I saw this earlier. I didn't see this until 13 years later, but I was like, I'm going to cry.
That's really
nice to see.
nice. That's extremely sweet. Man,
Mm-hmm.
that's a feel-good story. Like, God, if you want to hear my Ocarina of Time story, that's the first game I ever pre-ordered. I walked from my house in West Roxbury to Dedham, where, if you do not know that length of distance for, a 13-year-old to walk, pretty far. And I picked it up from Toys R Us when that was still a thing. And, oh God, I don't know if you remember, but buying video games from Toys R Us, you got a slip, and you would bring it to the cage. There was a cage they kept all the games in. And I pre-ordered it, and I honestly cannot remember what mechanism I got. I think I got a physical receipt that I then had to bring back and say, can I have this? Got my gold cartridge, plugged that shit in. Oh, such a good game.
So since we were, we jumped off of PlayStation onto Nintendo again, but just step back on PlayStation. I don't know why it's on the PlayStation blog. I don't mind. I don't care. I'm happy to find some new news about Judas. I mentioned it last week. That's Ken Levine's new game. He gave a little blog post and an update about the Judas development. We talked about how he's great at story writing and how he creates characters, and you get to, in his blog post, he goes over this too, but you get a sense of their morality, what they're looking for, what they want to do, who they are as a person. He's kind of bringing that into Judas in an entirely new way, in a villain sense, which I thought was really cool. There's not a central villain. It's who can become a villain later on based upon pretty much your actions in the game, from what he said. There are 3 different people, in the blog post, I think it was 3 people that were mentioned that you end up talking with, interacting with, and doing things with. I feel like I should step back for a second and explain the idea of Judas. When you look at the trailer, the first thought is BioShock because it looks like it plays like it, which is fine, whatever, it's familiar. But the tagline for the game is "Fix what you broke," and everybody's pissed off at you. Don't know why, no clue what you messed up, but you gotta fix it. So, in your interactions in the game, you'll be helping people, which ends up pissing other people off, or if you play a certain way, select certain dialogue options, it will, I guess, raise your relationship with certain people, lower it with other people. An instance that they gave and showed off, which I thought was awesome, was there are these things in the game that look like giant horse sheriffs called Rent-A-Deputy, and you can, I don't know if you pay money or if you do something else to hire them and they help you fight off the enemies. But if you piss off the sheriff character that you interact with, he messes with the machine so that way when you try to do that, the Rent-A-Deputies attack you instead.
Alright.
Yeah. And I guess you push it far enough, they become your villain, and they gain abilities and things like that that are specific to counteract what you're doing.
See, I like that. I was actually, right before we jumped on, because again, I didn't do my homework, and a lot of my talking points are going to be from things I didn't bring up last time. But I was looking, because you're just looking through whatever, and on Polygon they had an article on it. It looks really cool. You know what I mean?
Yes. Have you checked out the trailer, or do you know about it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I recommend checking it out. It's an awesome trailer, and it makes you want to know more about what's going on. It's a really good trailer. It's one of those things that don't give away too much and leaves you wanting more.
All right. I'm just plugging that in. Ooh, PS5 too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna mute this. From the creator of BioShock. I'm actually watching this while it looks pretty.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Oh, speaking of pretty and me being excited and can't seem to wait, tomorrow Revenge of Shinobi, or Revenge? What? That Shinobi game comes out, Art of Vengeance. Oh, dude, I cannot wait.
I meant to go buy it, and then I realized I had not updated my credit card, and then I was like, you know what? Let's hold off.
Oh.
Let's hold off. I'm still firmly in Breath of the Wild. That being said, I do like that we're kind of transitioning backwards into like a going into like a 2D Renaissance again, doing Dread with Metroid. You know, and a lot of the new indie games are going to end up being, a lot of new indie games are, side-scrolling games. I'm on board with it, man, and I like me a game with a really good sense of art. And like looking at some of the videos for it, I was like, all right, I can get on board with that. By the way, I'm watching some of the gameplay right now, and you are absolutely right. It very much looks like BioShock, which is fine. That's totally, I'm on board with that.
It's easier to jump in when it feels familiar.
And I mean, that's kind of like his deal, right? Ken Levine's deal.
I mean that's his baby.
Fix what you broke.
This is more for me and you, I guess, but knowing that you're free on Sunday, do you want to do, if you have some time or you find some time for yourself, do you want to hop on here and I'll throw up Art of Vengeance and we could talk about it?
Actually, yeah. I mean, it might be if you're free later in the day, and again, we'll probably end up cutting this out. Maybe we should do that because again, like the one downside with having the puppy is that I have to watch the puppy. But one of the good things is the puppy is super chill, and you can just slap his ass over here. And I'm not gonna lie, I might even buy it myself, and then we can play it at the same time.
Oh yeah, I'm down for. I mean, if you find time, I'm sure I can carve out an hour, and I'll just throw it up here, and we'll record over it and talk about it.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds like a really good idea. And to be fair, I think I like the idea of. I'm going to go on a real tangent. One of my favorite things in the world is watching people play video games, not playing them. I actually really love. I mean, obviously, I'm on a video game podcast. You would think that I enjoy playing video. Hey, how's it going? But in terms of watching people play, it reminds me of when I was a kid because back in the day, kids, there's only two controller ports back on the regular Nintendo and SNES. So it was me, my brother, and my cousin, and then occasionally my sister, and we would, there weren't enough controllers to go around. So, and that was only if you were playing a 2-player game. If you were playing RPG, forget about it, So, I'm actually kind of down for that.
Okay, sounds good to me. I guess I will hit you up on Sunday and see what's up.
Totally. Be aware that I might be eating some atrocious fast food.
That's fine. You make me want Five Guys fries now. Thank you.
Okay, and again, another tangent. Here's the thing about Five Guys fries. They're not great, but there's a lot of them. Oh my!
Yeah,
go on. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You go.
No, you go.
All right.
All
right. I see that you had put something on there of No Man's Sky.
Yes. So I bought Mike No Man's Sky just because I knew that he would enjoy playing it, and we spent a couple hours playing that years ago, and we've been following them every time they've put out some new updates and stuff. I want to say they're up to like 20 plus updates with the game now, with how long it's been out. Now we got a new one called Voyagers, and what's his name? Sean Murray actually put out like a little deep dive about the game and gave you some idea of what to expect in it. And one of the things that grabbed me was he said that you actually have to like craft some boats and stuff like that to traverse these oceans, because they are legit the size of actual oceans with things that you have to worry about and stuff, which is cool. I mean, like, with all the updates and stuff, you've got base building, you've got giant frigates in the space that can house your ships and stuff like that. You go to different planet systems, you can go through warp holes and shit like that. Now they're going down onto the planet surface and building up, like, the idea of the gameplay there.
I'm actually watching the trailer right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's come a long way.
It has, and actually, one of the things. Here's the thing. It's so funny. I will not pre-order a game anymore. I will not pre-order a game.
What broke you?
So the second to last game that I pre-ordered was No Man's Sky, and we talked about it.
Okay.
I remember
I played it over at your house.
Yeah, and I was like, fundamentally, it seemed awesome. And again, I played it, and I was like, this. When the first time you're in your ship and you fly up through the atmosphere, it is amazing. Mm-hmm. It is arguably one of the best experiences ever to know that, and then just being like, hey, you can go to another planet.
I would love to argue that, because I got one that stuck with me too.
Oh, we'll talk about that. Was one that really got me, though. Just the concept of that level of freedom, it threw me for a loop. Mm-hmm. But it then got real grindy. And then it got real boring. And there wasn't a lot in it.
They've fixed that since then, thankfully.
So I agree. And I have not played it since it came out in 2016. It's on my PlayStation 5. I'm like, I'll get to it. And I'm not like burnt about it. I'm like, okay, whatever.
There's just more stuff going on.
Totally. And they really worked hard. And to be fair, they did a phenomenal job. I remember oh my God, what's his name? Sean something or other?
Sean Murray.
Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, like I was like, this guy is the next Bill Gates, because he's basically made Ready Player One, and then that never came to fruition. Which, fair to be, and I think it's one of those deals where it's like buyer beware. Fine. The next game that I pre-ordered, the last game that I pre-ordered,
oh no,
was Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh.
Which...
Yeah, I pre-ordered that too.
And I remember when I started playing it, I was like, okay, I remember Jackie T-posing through a shit ton of lockers, and shit started blasting everywhere, and I legitimately was crying laughing. I was crying laughing, and I'm like, why the hell did I buy this? And they did.
That's so funny, though.
They did the same thing, though, where I put it down. I was like, "This is dumb. There's too much involved. I'm not feeling this. Whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And then when Edge Runners came out, I was like, "All right, you know what? Let's see what the deal is." People are like, they're kind of happy about the way the game is. Phenomenal game. It is.
Yes.
One of my favorite games that I've ever played. Plugging into Santa Vista, going around in slow motion with your katana, and everyone else is in like going, and you're going super fast. It's awesome. It is so fucking good. But going forward, I'm like, there's no game where I want to pre-order now, because I'm afraid that it's going to take 2 years for it to become good.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's kind of a byproduct of having to balance. Well, in CDPR's camp, that's not really the case, because they don't have shareholders to listen to necessarily. But they had been in development of Cyberpunk for so long, and they were so close and wanted to get it out, that I feel like they needed to. And then they were like, yeah, we can do this. It's playable. We know what state it's going to be in. We're going to fix it as we go. Which... some people are okay with it, some people aren't, but CDPR has got the the staying power, and they've been in the game for a while, so they know what they're doing. Clearly, by by Cyberpunk. Same reason why I absolutely love The Witcher 3 and all the DLC.
But and that's kind of my like Witcher 4 is coming out. And I'm like I'll full disclosure, I've started to play Witcher 3 now twice. And
Mm-hmm.
again, my old brain can't handle it. There is so much going on. Where with Cyberpunk, I mean, you can min max. I think that even now with the game in a state that it's enjoyable and fantastic, and I really love it. Even then, it's not the action RPG that you would have thought. It's a first person shooter, and after a certain point, you don't really
Mm-hmm.
have to worry about like doing stats or worrying about any of that shit.
Right.
But The Witcher 3, you definitely do. And
Especially when you up the difficulty.
yeah,
It gets nuts.
I remember somebody saying with The Witcher 3, playing it on the hardest difficulty is actually you actually have to be a Witcher. You have to.
Yes.
You have to.
I can vouch for that. That is absolutely
Yeah.
true.
And that's one of those games where I'm like, if I could watch somebody play it, I would watch that for days. I would hook it directly to my vein. And one of the things that actually really bugs me now is that the Let's Play market is going so far. Oh, it's not as popular as it used to be. And not necessarily like, I mean, again, there are people who play Fortnite, there are people who play Apex Legends, there are people who play whatever. But at the end of the day, like a solid single player game. If you have any recommendations, by the way, both you, Adam, and also all of our listeners, send them my way. Honestly, I want to find something that catches my attention, like watching Minecraft back in the day. You know?
Mm-hmm. So, let's go back to PlayStation really quick. And I say PlayStation because Bungie is owned by PlayStation. They remember how I was complaining a lot about the updates that they put out in their TWID and what they were planning to do for future updates and stuff. They have now since walked that back. I want to say no surprise, but I'm happy about that because it shows that they are listening. But a lot of folks in the community think that it's Bungie's not leadership style, organizational style. The different teams are not talking or the communication is slow. And that's because if the whole community is saying these are bad, this is not going to work, and they have people that are doing the math on these things too. There are people who crunch the numbers to figure out damage numbers based on the increases and decreases for running the missions, the modifiers, the types of guns, the type of ammo, all that shit. They have spreadsheets of these things out there. When you have the community running the numbers and saying, here's why it doesn't work, and the sentiment is down on the game and only getting lower and lower, but you're still pushing the stuff forward, there's some sort of disconnect there. So I'm glad to see that they're actually taking this to heart and walking it back. And part of that is they are going to revert what they had planned on reducing the power-based, reductions to the power bases on for solo ops, and for some of the fire teams ops, they're going to make some of that a little bit easier because you needed more time with some of these missions, like running the harder ones, which are called Grandmasters. They even came out and said, yeah, you run out of time halfway through the mission. We missed the mark on that. So they're going to add some more time to that. They're going to add some more loot and stuff to like some of the harder missions, which are like where you get the exotics before, which was Encore, Starcrossed, Whisper of the Worm. I haven't read through their entire TWID just yet either. Damn it, it's gone. That's all right. I'll read through it later. But there was some stuff about identities as well in the game. Like, there's 3 characters, which are the Hunter, the Warlock, and the Titan. And there's some sort of power fantasy with that where, like, Hunter is a solo one. They like to go invisible. They like to be the scouts and looking out for things. Titans are the ones who are in the fray. They're at the front. They're punching things in the face. Warlocks are literally the magic users of the game. Hunters and Titans have kind of had their identity and know what their characters are going to be, whereas Warlocks have had their stuff pushed to the side. Their stuff gets inadvertently nerfed or intentionally nerfed because it's perceived as way too powerful, but then there's nothing on the back end to help compensate for that.
Right.
So they're finally giving some more identity to the Warlocks in some future updates. They are making it easier to hit the power cap for Ash and Iron, which is now going to be 500 instead of resetting everything back as well. I actually think one of the updates later on they're going to reset it to 200, but they're making things a little bit easier. They are what's the good word I'm trying to think of? They're respecting the player's time when it comes to choosing to do solo things, so that way they can level to the point that they want. They are, I just lost the word again. They're actually giving back to the community in the way that they want for the time invested into the games, which is cool.
Oh, totally.
It just sucks that it took so long to do so.
I'm putting this in the chat. The top comment for the post that you put in. Quick summary of player sentiment. We do not want the current system to be more grindy. That is...
Mm-hmm. And that's what the problem was. It was an unnecessary grind with not enough return.
Right. And, like, again, the idea that games should be an addiction and not, like, a source of... Can games be tough? Yes. From Software has made millions of dollars doing that. But it shouldn't be to a point where you're like, okay, all right, we gotta...
It's tough without being restrictive.
Right. Like, is grinding something that will need to be done, especially in that genre of games? Yes. Is that something that I'm looking forward to every time that I pick up the game? No, I'm good. Thanks. Keep it.
I think you said last week it should not be a second job. It should be fun.
Right. And, like, I don't know. I'm glad that they're taking some of this to heart. Games as a service, in games like, games that are heavy on pay to play. Sure. Again, I don't like the idea. I like the idea if you want to sell a game where, you want to provide some leverage for people who want to invest money in it. Okay. I'm not, like, enamored with the idea.
You got to support your studio somehow for free. I mean, Destiny is free to play, so yes, there's going to be monetization in it. So you got to support the studio somehow.
Sure. I think the thing, but right, like at the end of the day, if Joe Schmo, meaning myself, is like, hey, you know what, Bungie. That game has been out for 1,000,000 years at this point, right? Destiny,
11 years or so.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to get into Destiny right now, and then somebody who's in Destiny right now is like, yeah, maybe not. How are you planning on increasing your fan base if the people that originally loved the game are like, don't do it?
Yeah. I mean, that's also a two-pronged thing, too, in a negative way. One, predatory monetization, because a lot of their stuff is focused on that, so whatever, including the grindy aspect. But to get new players into the game, too, the beginner experience is not great. There's not enough explanation. You don't want it to be too hand-holdy, but it doesn't explain enough and get you through things to understand what the systems are and how they work properly. And that's always been a problem for them since they went free-to-play, too. It's always been like the community saying, yeah, New Light experience still isn't great. It's getting better, but not quite there yet.
Interesting. Question for you. Mm-hmm. And again, as I see the
answer for you.
We were talking about the Microsoft space and the PlayStation space, specifically about Microsoft. Because again, funny thing for me, Game Pass, I have no idea how it works. I'm assuming it's the same thing as the PlayStation Plus, but
it does, yeah.
But
basically,
there are games that will, that you can download for free, though you're paying a subscription. But you can download a subset of games.
Yeah. So they did theirs a little bit different. When they switched over from Xbox Live Gold, which was, their main service to be able to get online and play games and stuff like that, in addition to that, they had Game Pass, which was like the main tier. They had a PC Game Pass, and then they had Game Pass Ultimate, which was both combined, which included cloud gaming. They dropped Xbox Live Gold in favor of having something called Game Pass Core, which gives you a library of like 25 to 30 games, but only those games that you can download as like an introductory thing. You get your online play, you get your multiplayer, stuff like that, but you only have that subset of the library that you can actually download and play. Then you have the other tiers that open up the entire library to you and also include, cloud gaming. Thing is, still cloud gaming was only on the upper tiers of that stuff. Now, I believe this is what you were hinting at, is they are planning to add, I see you're shaking your head. they're adding cloud gaming to the other tiers. Apparently, they've been testing it out with a lot of different Xbox insiders, figuring out all the kinks of it, figuring out if it was worth it, and it seems like, I think if it's not live now, it's going to be live soon. So if you have Game Pass Core, the Standard, or the Ultimate, or any of the tiers, you also have access to cloud gaming.
Okay.
Which is great. Now, you don't even have to have an Xbox to do that. If you have an Xbox account, or a Microsoft account, I should say, and then you have a gamer tag that you've created, you can sign up for those tiers that you want. And then you just download the cloud gaming app on your phone, on the PC, whatever. You can play those games online. And they've got cloud gaming pretty much figured out. It's pretty seamless. As long as you have something that's over like 15 down and maybe 2 up, you should be good.
All right. So, and it's funny because that's one thing I've not really progressed into is the cloud gaming thing.
I want to show you something. This is all you need. Ugh. I can connect this to this, and that is it. And what I'm showing them is my controller and my phone. That is it.
I see. That's the dream. And like honestly, I think that's the one thing that I think. Well, Nintendo got it right insofar as I can grab the Switch, bring it, put it over here, play on my thing, hook it back up to the TV, fine. That's the one thing that because again, there is cloud gaming on the PlayStation. You have to buy the premium tier for it, but there's cloud gaming. You can do it. I don't know how well it works, and I'm not real jazzed about the idea of downloading it. Again, I don't play enough on the PlayStation to like make that part, like getting an ROI on that is not in it for me. That being said, like...
Well, you said you haven't touched your PS5 in like 6 months.
I know, which is... By the way, and again, I didn't put this on the notes, but evidently next month, the PlayStation free games of the month are going to be Psychonauts 2.
Great game.
I haven't even played Psychonauts 1. I'm
great game.
No.
I mean, Double Fine makes great games too. So.
Oh, absolutely. Then, Stardew Valley was one.
Great game too.
Which, hey, weren't we just talking about that?
Yes, we were. I own the game. Why don't you download it? We can start a new farm and play. All 3 of us can play. Mike's got the game too.
You know what I can do? What I should do is bring my PS4 back. So, again, at some point we'll have video, and then you can see our wonderful smiling faces. Right now I am in my office, and my office is also a spare bedroom, which is why there's a giant bed behind me, and a dog bone, because my dog sometimes comes and sits with me, which is awesome.
Oh, I thought that was yours.
No, mine is actually under the desk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like the floor taste. So to my left, right, is a small-ish TV. Right now my Switch 2 is hooked up to that because again, I'm the worst, and I'm like, hey, you know what I should do during work is play Switch. But originally up here I had my PlayStation 4, and maybe I'll bring it back up here. You know? It's not doing it. It's just sitting in like my basement right now, just collecting dust.
Collecting dust. Yeah. There was another one in that list too, besides Stardew and Psychonauts 2, I believe. I can't remember what it was because I saw 3.
Yeah, there always are 3. September. Plus free games. It looks like it's going to be Viewfinder. I don't know anything about what Viewfinder is.
I'm going to take a guess and say that is the first-person puzzle game, and if it's what I think it is, it actually has a really cool gameplay thing where you can take a picture, and then you hold that picture up, and it becomes part of the world that you can actually walk into and interact with it to solve the puzzles.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It's like changing the way you look at it, and it's all 3D. It's not side-scrolling or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
If that's the game I'm thinking of.
It is. It is. Here, let me do this.
It's like The Witness on steroids.
God, The Witness. Jesus Christ. That game, it's so good. And again, if for somebody who has time and is like, hey, I'm going to invest a lot of time in this world, the meta game of that, in and of itself, is fascinating.
Yes, absolutely. I want you to tell me about some of this Battlefield 6 news, because we just, because we're playing it. They just wrapped up the beta, I think, recently, and the game is finishing up to come out, I think, this year.
Oh.
I think around holiday time, maybe.
So I'll start with the 2 weeks old post that I meant to bring up last time.
I would say it's still relevant now.
Yes. So on August 13th, Battlefield 6 players caused $70 billion in virtual property damage during the open beta. And
Gotta love DICE's destruction engine.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. And, like, I've never been, like, again, when I was in my FPS online gaming mode, I was 100% a Call of Duty person, because I am
Halo for me.
I'm a follower, not a leader, you know what I mean? But one of the things, man, that, you know, looking at Battlefield 4, watching entire, you know...
That was the only one that I played.
Yeah.
That's the only Battlefield game that grabbed me.
And here's the thing, right? Like, because the Star Wars, is it also called Battlefield? No, it's... Oh, Jesus. Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront, again, also made by DICE, I believe. The new ones were. Right?
New ones are by EA.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I thought EA...
Originals, though, yeah.
Regardless, Battlefield 4. Very good. Looks amazing. Never really played too much of it. But just, like, the idea of, like, watching a building fall down in front of you, it's like, hell yeah, man.
Watching a tank go through a corner of the building and watching it just crumble. And then seeing the people jump off and deploy their parachutes just in time, or maybe miss.
I actually, one thing I love watching, and it will occasionally pop up on my TikTok feed, is this one guy who has, and again, I'm assuming there's like a glide suit on obviously not Battlefield 6, but the last one that came out that no one liked. He would do, like, he would have a knife. He has a knife, claymore mines, or, like, remote detonating mines, and this, like, gliding suit, and he'll just be like Batman, just glide up to a bunch of people that are, like, sniping people, and just toss down a few things, and, like, jump off, and, like, watch them, and, like, click the button, and the entire top of the building will explode. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's man. If I was playing that game, I'd be furious. But if watching it, it is pure joy.
I had a perfectly good segue, and I fucking lost it.
Oh, bummer, man.
That's what it was. You mentioned Battlefield went kind of futuristic, and nobody really cared for it. Their cops and robbers version of the game was actually a pretty interesting idea. I think they did that well. But when, like you said, when they went to the futuristic aspect, people didn't really like it, so they kind of went back to actual warfare and, like, the realistic idea of it. Call of Duty is floundering, I think. They went futuristic. Nobody really cared for that either. Like, a lot of people played it, but they were like, this isn't really Call of Duty. funny enough, you have something about how Battlefield is making Call of Duty rethink shit.
Yes, and so former Blizzard president predicts Battlefield 6 is going to boot stomp Black Ops 7 because Call of Duty has become
Ooh, them's
lazy.
fighting words.
Yeah, he is tossing it down. And
Damn, I did not hear that. Woo.
to be fair, I don't necessarily disagree with it. And this goes back to the thing we were talking about, again, during the Assassin's Creed podcast, where if you release a game every single year, now it's become an expectation. You can't one-up yourself every year, especially now with a AAA game. Like, the amount of resources and energy that goes into a AAA game, you can't do... That's not sustainable. And
Right.
I think the thing for me is, I mean, the quintessential, it has to release every year, for me, historically has been Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty. Every year, there's always a new version that comes out. Every year, I'm like, okay, you know, like the first couple times, you're like, cool, I don't have to wait that long. And then after the 5th year of sequential games coming out, even during its heyday, like, you know, you had Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, Black Ops 1 and 2, phenomenal games. I really liked the Black Ops take on it. And then from there, just, okay, what new thing are you going to give me, you know?
To be fair, on the Call of Duty front, they had 2 different developers developing 2 different series of Call of Duty. Both had similar feels, but they had 2 different... It was 2 different series, where it went from Modern Warfare and Black Ops. We were talking about Treyarch and Activision at the time.
Right.
So that's how they were able to do so. Then they dropped Treyarch in favor of just keeping it all in-house and then carrying on with what they were doing, which, you know, probably an okay idea at the time considering they were able to continue it, but looking now, I feel like they've lost a lot of their identity.
Right. I mean, I think the thing is, again, so you had Treyarch, you had Infinity Ward, and...
That's the other one.
Yeah, and I remember when Infinity Ward, like, their heads jumped ship, because they were like, yeah, we can't do this anymore. And I think that is kind of exemplifies the businessy aspect of it, where it's like, okay, well, you know, hey, we're going to make a little bit extra money this year because we're going to release Call of Duty. Eventually you get to a point where it's like, are they putting their best foot forward? Probably not. You know what I mean?
I want to wrap it back around to a conversation we had earlier. Do you know where the other developers from Call of Duty went?
Are you talking about the ones from Infinity Ward?
Yes. The studio heads, they left and created their own studio. Don't you look it up.
Damn it.
I want you to tell me, where did they go?
Crap. And I want to say it's going to be something like...
You mentioned it earlier.
I know I did.
Their current game that they're focused on, besides making the Star Wars games with Cal Kestis.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They went and made Titanfall. That is one of the quintessential games that I remember seeing something like, I can't even recall what we were talking about, but seeing the Titan fall in from space for the first time, excellent.
That was, right, the scene where you're playing a game and you have this moment where you're like, oh shit, this got real. I mean, so...
And you know what? In that game, dropping in the Titan never got old.
Oh, they did it so seamlessly. They do... Man, that's such a good game. I have to finish that game. And part of me doesn't want to finish it because, 1, we're probably never going to get into Titanfall 3. 2, the story is sad. Like, I know how it ends.
The story is... It's so good, but it is sad.
Yeah. I mean, any sort... again, I don't want to ruin how old is this game now? 12 years old?
I don't even know. Old enough. Yeah, like any sort of Iron Giant-esque story, I'm like, I can't emotionally deal with this shit, man. No, but honestly, like, and here's the thing. We're still talking about Titanfall 2, and we're all like, hey, we really want a sequel to that game.
And again, the
A lot
businessy
of people
aspect
do,
of it
yeah.
is they have Apex Legends. It's printing them money.
They have Star Wars as well, and they have other games right now that they're developing. So if they can, they'll get around to it. But right now, doesn't look like
Are
it.
you a Star Wars head?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, dude. Sorry, the reason I ask is because, like, again, people's fandoms. They kind of differ. I honestly really, really, I only played. I didn't play Jedi Survivor. I only played the first one with Cal Kestis. It's really good.
It is.
It's basically From Software Light with Star Wars, which is
Yes.
just
That's a great way to put
yeah.
it.
Sign me up, man. I'm on board.
So going back to Call of Duty, I had no idea that the Battlefield devs were basically throwing down the gauntlet and talking shit to Call of Duty. Because of that, though, I guess this is an answer to it, not directly to them, but they put out a blog post talking to the community saying, yeah, over the course of the years, it feels like we've kind of lost our way with our identity and what we wanted to make this game and what it was supposed to be like and what you, the community, expect from us. So going forward, they're dropping the ridiculous aspects of it and keeping it more grounded and real. So we're not going to see Jay and Silent Bob running around. We're not going to see Nicki Minaj running around with gold-plated guns and shit like that.
Okay, like I'm sorry. This is Call of Duty saying this. Activision.
Yes.
Okay, like
The Call of Duty devs specifically, yeah.
I don't think the ridiculous aspect of it is what got me. Again, like, are you going to make?
A lot of people talk shit about those kind of crossovers, though. Once they started introducing, like I said, Nicki Minaj, I think no, that was Fortnite. American Dad and stuff was in Fortnite, I think. But like the crazy characters that wouldn't normally fit in a war game like that.
Right.
Dude, they had it was a character that was like not an alliteration, but an homage to like getting high and stuff like that. Yeah, there's the memes for Call of Duty that goes hand in hand, but when you start actually putting it into the game and making it part of like the multiplayer and stuff, it kind of takes on a different identity and feel to the game overall.
Sure.
So a lot of the community was calling that out and saying, "What is this?" Well, like, yes, they have to make money and they make deals to be able to do so and stuff. But a lot of the sentiment from the community, from what I was reading, was just like, "What the hell are you guys doing?"
I mean, again, for me, and again, this is just me. Not there are people who still play hardcore Call of Duty daily and have their own servers and fine and great. For me, I'm like, if you want to put in some ridiculous aspect, okay, I'm not opposed to that. For me, it's more of a why it's the Madden conundrum. I'm not a big football guy. Madden and any other sports game, there's a release schedule every year. They could just create Madden 21st Century and release new stats over the internet, right? Like they could just do update packages.
They could update the rosters.
Sure. Do they do that? Nope. So you have to
No.
pay $80 now to play a game that fundamentally feels exactly the same as last year with just different names.
Yep. And I think that's why I could never really get into any sports games.
I know. Like, I remember back in the day when I was a kid, they had, what was it? Celtics versus Lakers. EA had this, like, before they came into the numbered year by year series, they would have their, like, basketball games would be like Lakers versus, I don't know, Mavs. Whatever. They would have like two teams that they would put in the forefront of their games. And I remember playing that all the time with my brother. He's a big sports guy. I'm not. But I'm like, this is legitimately fun. Now I'm like, why on God's green earth? Like, I think FIFA is probably the quintessential example of it, where it's like, clearly, this is a cash grab.
That FIFA is just a, people buy that shit too. FIFA is a money making machine, as ridiculous as they are with what fucking NBA 2K whatever. It's getting just as bad. They have in-game advertisements over things before you can actually get into the game itself between stuff. Not to mention having to like buy cards to get certain things and stuff like that. And it was a whole mess before.
God, just spare me with that shit, man. Like, I necessarily hate in-game product placement? No. Sign me up for Death Stranding where he's pounding Monster Energy drinks. Fine, I'm okay
Yeah,
with
but
it.
don't shove it in my face and like you put a whole page advertisement over the game before I can actually get back into it. If it makes sense and it's subtle, fine, great.
Right.
I'm all for that. Same thing with Alan Wake 1. They had Energizer batteries throughout the entire game, but it wasn't shoved in your face and saying, look, we got Energizer batteries. Put the Energizer batteries into your fucking flashlight. It was just like, oh, we need batteries. Let's stick them in. Here we go.
Right. Right. There isn't a point in Alan Wake where Alan Wake puts generic batteries into his flashlight and then it doesn't work, and then like the Energizer Bunny comes out and he's like, "You should have chose Energizer. Now you're gonna die."
You know what? I think I'd prefer that over anything else because it'd be hilarious.
Actually, to be fair, I kind of want to see that game now.
You could work that into it. Energizer Bunny's your distraction method.
Oh, well, actually, it's funny because we're talking about Death Stranding. Hideo Kojima, again, this came out 27 days ago, so breaking news. Hideo Kojima, disappointed with the state of the industry, believes the most interesting work is happening among indies, while big budget studios are churning out things that are safe and tremendously boring. Very much.
Hey, thanks for saying what we're all been saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and and again, speaking of first comment, this was a Reddit post, and the first comment, since no one listens to the consumers these days, I'm happy that bigger names speak out about it to force change. To be fair, yeah,
Yes.
I mean, no one's gonna listen to us. Are you kidding me? I don't think at any point.
They don't listen to words, they listen to money. And the thing is, if you want it, you're going to spend it. And that's the biggest problem with the gaming industry, I think, or the gaming community as a whole. It's just, we're part of the problem. We know what they're doing. We see it. We're fully aware. You still fucking buy it.
I fully am in a dink situation, dual income, no kids, and
Okay.
like
I have not heard that before.
really?
That's awesome.
So actually, we're
Yeah.
specifically, well, not so much anymore, but we're dink wads, where it's dual income, no kids with a dog. So, so I'm the market for this shit. I have a disposable income that I don't have to worry about. Like, for example, you and Mike, who actually have children, I don't have to put any kids to college. If I want to go buy an $80 game, it's fine. That being said, why? Why on God's green? The fact that they, again, putting a shiny coat of paint on a Madden and saying, it's still being the same damn game that came out 25 years ago. They know they're going to get our money. But I will say this, it's insane to me that Hideo Kojima is allowed to make video games. He absolutely should. There's nothing on the face of it that Death Stranding has that would seem to appeal to any sort of money-making organization.
Right. Right, yeah.
It's a game, well, and again, I don't know enough about Death Stranding 2. I have not played it. Trying not to look too much into it, though. To be fair, I read about the story of Death Stranding 1, and I got a nosebleed. So cool.
Yeah.
But
That's Kojima for you.
he made a game where you use your piss as a weapon, and people bought it. Like, good for him, man. He nailed it.
Well, he's definitely earned his time to be able to be a little wacky and weird with some of his stories. I can't make heads or tails out of them, but it's fun, I think.
Yeah.
It's interesting, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not... Honestly, sign me up for something interesting. Like, he's right. The indie developers, I mean, you have Hollow Knight. You have, Tunic. You have...
Vampire Survivors. Balatro. Mouthwashing.
Yeah. All of these games that are labors of love. Hell, I mean, not so much anymore, but freaking Undertale. Minecraft. Minecraft was an indie
Yeah.
game that made it really big. And it's so funny that we have two distinct, completely different thought processes behind video games now, where it's release it every year, have it be the same thing, will make money, or try something completely new, and it might not make money, or it might be the biggest thing that's ever happened in video games since, Pong. And
Yeah.
why are we, it's the same with all media. They want to play it safe, and I'm on board with it, but come on. It's for every, I don't know, Marvel movie, which again, I love Marvel movies, but for every Marvel movie, you end up with like a John Wick. On paper, that should not have made any money, and now there is a whole universe about it.
Yeah. Well, in terms of creating new universes, it's a little hard for devs to do that regarding Switch 2.
Oh, I'll bet.
Have you heard about some of the woes? Like according to Digital Foundry, when they were at Gamescom and talking to some devs, there is not very many Switch 2 dev kits going out.
I mean,
and apparently it's to the point where Nintendo's suggesting that those people who are developing games for the Switch to just put it out for the Switch 1 and tell people they can play it via backwards compatibility for the Switch 2. No one knows why that Nintendo's doing that either. It's very weird.
I mean, probably.
It also leads to the issues with the releases, such as like Elden Ring, how it's not running as well as it could because they didn't have the dev kit to actually optimize it for it. It's the same reason why Borderlands 4 is probably only going to be running at 30, 45 frames a second and be downscaled. If you don't have the dev kits, you can't optimize the game to run as well as it possibly could on the new systems.
Right. And I mean, the only logical reason I can imagine is because they want to push first-party games they're making, right? Which, again, does it make business sense to me? No. But again, Nintendo also, they're the fastest-selling system, ever.
Yeah.
They have now had, and again, between the Wii, the Switch, and then the Switch 2, they've had nothing but success. So, I mean, maybe they have something there. I don't get it. I think the idea behind exclusive games, again, there are exclusive games interesting? Sure. Can you have some exclusive games? Yes. Should every game on a system fall into two tiers, whether it be, hey, this is a first-party game, it's going to run awesome. By the way, for anyone who's actually interested, Breath of the Wild at 60 FPS, it fucking slaps. It's so good. Sure, but then the flip side of that, it shouldn't be games that are developed by third-party developers run like absolute dog shit. I don't get it, man. I mean, but hey, you know what? Maybe we'll end up with... Maybe they'll eventually start delivering them. I don't know. I don't understand the business sense behind that at all.
It doesn't make sense for sure. But as we've said a lot, Nintendo seems to play by their own rules and do their own thing. So I'm not even going to say I'm going to trust them because they know what they're doing. I'm just going to say I want to wait and see what's happening. But clearly they have some sort of idea if their first-party games can make you feel better just by playing them.
Oh, yeah, actually. And great minds think alike because I just pulled that one up. So, and again, because we are getting late in the evening, we'll probably leave it at this one. Research says playing Zelda can make you feel happier in life. So evidently, a team of experts from Imperial College in London, Kyushu Sangyo University, and Georgia State University did a joint study. And again, my partner, she did research grants for quite a long time. This could just be a pilot study. I don't know I have not read the study. I have not been on PubMed. No idea.
I'm a stats person. Their pool is very small, so you're kind of well, not you, but they are extrapolating information from their small pool of information.
Right.
But it's still enough data to go off of.
Sure, but evidently, if you play The Legend of Zelda and you watch Studio Ghibli films, you are going to have a great life. I can attest to that. Honestly, and again, this is where Nintendo, and I don't know how they did it, there is video game grind, and there is whatever is happening in Breath of the Wild, and it should be a grind, and it is fun as hell. I'm going back and doing all of these things again that I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. You can put an apple in front of a horse and it'll eat the apple. That's cool. Oh, you can...
You know what? I think I know what it is. It's grindy, but it's extremely varied.
Yep, exactly. Where, again, if you're playing Far Cry and you're trying to liberate one more outpost or whatever, and you're like, okay, I've done this 50 times. It's the same thing over and over and over again. With Breath of the Wild, man, you can go find some bokoblins, drop a bomb on them right in the middle of them and have it blow up, and then they freak out.
I mean, just the shrines alone, even if they have, like, there are, let's just use a random number, say there's 5 shrines. It's 1 through 5. They follow a similar theme, but it's always different. The puzzles are always different inside, the way you approach things. No two people will approach those shrines the same way either. Just like the ball maze. People will follow the maze. Some people have learned that you can flip the damn table and just roll the thing over it.
I'm glad you brought that up because actually...
And that's what keeps it interesting.
The other day, I literally did that shrine. Like, literally 2 days ago.
Nice.
I did it again. And
did you flip it over and do that?
So, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. And what I just did was, I got it to a point where it was like... Because if you remember that maze, there's like one long corridor that leads to where you're supposed to get the ball to. I got it into that corridor, and then I like took my Switch and was like, and like it launched it, and it went down. I'm like,
nice,
hell yeah!
I bet that felt good.
Yeah, and the best part about that is if you are playing that in front of somebody, they're going to think that you have lost your mind because you're like. Like, if you don't know what somebody's doing, you think that they just... I shudder to think about everyone who's around me when I'm playing that. If they have no idea what I'm doing, they're probably like, what the hell is going on, guys? But...
Go on.
Oh,
go ahead.
No, you go. Honestly, go.
I was just gonna read the little excerpt that they actually posted in that article, where it says, engaging with these archetypal narratives can prompt a sense of mission. Players feel they are contributing to a cause bigger than themselves, even if it is within a fictional world. This bigger-than-self feeling can be deeply meaningful. I absolutely agree with that.
One thing I will say about Breath of the Wild, and maybe to a lesser extent Tears of the Kingdom, the story is so minimal that you kind of do have to make your own, you have to extrapolate your own story for it. And again, it is, there's nothing like, and again, I think that Breath of the Wild is the quintessential moment for me where you have the oh shit. When you walk out and you look out and you see Hyrule Castle and Ganon is floating around it and you're a million miles away and you're like, how do I even get there? Just phenomenal. So good.
100% agreed.
All right, man. And on that note,
you ready to call it?
I'm ready to call it. I am extremely beat.
Yep, I hear ya. All right, folks. We got a new one for you tonight. Besides, if you want to hit us up on all the socials, it's on Blue Sky, Threads, Facebook. I feel like there was another one in there that I always forget. What did I say? Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram. There we go. And Facebook. We are also on Patreon now. Everything that we have recorded podcast-wise and everything has been up there. I am starting to, on Wednesdays, if not Thursday mornings now, I'm going to put in some I'm going to start additionally posting some of the teasers for the notes that we have for the podcast, so you have something to look forward to when it goes up. So we'll be interacting with people on Patreon. Maybe we'll find a way to go live on there when it comes to recording things, or if not, on Discord, set up a channel for people to listen in while we're recording. We got plenty of ideas. We'll get there eventually.
Nice.
If you want to drop us a line as well, we are the Ramblepack at Gmail. And I guess with that, we will talk to you later.
Later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.